And now, it's Boomer Life, lifestyle discussion designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation, this is Boomer Life on CIL 650.
Welcome to Boomer Life on CIL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton, and today on Boomer Life, we're going to focus on the many positive living options that are available to seniors in British Columbia. So joining us in the studio from the BC Seniors Living Association, which at times we will refer to as the BCSLA, we have board member Alison Howard is here, as well as a special guest, Rob Hube. So thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. So Alison, how we start every show, and you've done this before, please get us started by giving us a little bit of an idea on what the BC Seniors Living Association is all about and some of the highlights.
Absolutely. Well, BCSLA is basically an advocacy group. We were born out of a group of people who provided seniors housing in British Columbia and saw that there was an opportunity to do advocacy. So not just for seniors who are moving into retirement communities or looking for a place to live, but for all issues that affect seniors in general. So we started many years ago with a small cohort of people, and it's grown since then. And now we have a full board of directors. We represent almost every single independent and assisted living, private pay community in British Columbia, as well as some funded communities. And we have a broad base of membership all over British Columbia, all working together to provide phenomenal services to seniors in a variety of settings.
Well, with this entire group of baby boomers that are aging, you must be the busiest society in the province.
We field a lot of questions, absolutely, and we're excited to do so.
Excellent. Thank you, Alison. And Rob, you are our resident fitness and lifestyle expert. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So my background is in clinical nutrition and also strength and conditioning. And I basically took those two disciplines and worked in wellness and a wellness role for over 15 years in retirement housing. I worked for several of the big companies. And basically what I was doing was looking at the two really important things that we do operationally, which is food and lifestyle. So the whole idea was to build a wellness program that was improving those areas and improving the lives of the residents who move into these communities. So that my background comes from that. And these days what I'm doing is I'm working on we've developed a fitness machine that's specifically catered for older adults. So that's where I'm coming from.
Excellent. And I know we're going to talk to you a little bit more about that and how you have fit into programs with the Seniors Living Association here and also some of the seniors communities that are being built up around the province. So let's talk today about the benefits of independent living. There's been a lot of media attention recently about the fact that people don't need to leave their homes. And in some cases, this could be true. But ever on this show today, we're hoping to sort of bring light to this issue, clarify some of the questions and some of the myths, maybe, that there are so many benefits of living in an active, independent living community. So let's start there. How would you describe a typical active living community? Who wants to start?
I can start.
Excellent.
On a broad perspective, an active lifestyle community has some very strong pillars, foundational components that they put into every single day for their community members. And the ones that we really want to focus on today is the health and wellness component. So for that, you're going to walk into a community, you're going to know it's an active lifestyle community because there's going to be a buzz in the community. There's going to be life in that community. People are going to be heading off to a class. They're going to be getting out and doing a good, some of our communities have Nordic pole walking programs. Some of them have, Neanderthal. There's a program in Canmore called Neanderthals, where they go hiking. And these are a senior community. So they're out, they're doing things, they're taking fitness classes within the community. They're taking in a cooking demonstration. There is life in that community, and you can just feel that vibrancy when you walk into many, if not all of our member communities.
It seems to be all about choices and options and providing as many options possible that would cater to any age group or any specific mobility group.
Yeah, it would. You do get, there's a wide range of ages that come in. But as a general rule, it's a much older population coming in. And they come in with different abilities as well. Some people come in and they may be in a wheelchair, but they're independent in the sense that they motor through the building and they're fine. The important thing to note is that when a person comes in, we have this unique opportunity to provide the lifestyle, the food, the social engagement that they're going to experience in the building, and it brings them to a new level. Like at first it's a tough adjustment for some people. There's no doubt about that. But by and large, what we've seen, and I'm talking from experience, and Alison can attest to this as well, is that somewhere along the line between 3 and 6 months, you see a huge change, and they tell you, my life has changed. And a big part of that is what is provided in this active lifestyle package that retirement communities do. They're doing a really good job at that. So if folks come in, they're coming in from being at home. They're typically at home alone is the typical scenario that you see. They're not generally eating well, because I've done community nutrition and I've seen the cupboards when you go in and you open it up and there's a couple of cans of soup and crackers and things like that. They're not eating well because it takes a lot of, and we've talked about this a little earlier, a lot of time to prepare food.
Sure, time, energy, shopping, all of that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So they're not eating 7 servings of fruits and vegetables per day, something that we provide. That
they're lucky to get one.
They're lucky if
maybe
they can
canned
get
fruit
one.
cocktail with cottage cheese for
With
lunch
cottage
or
cheese.
something,
And
right?
some nuts for protein.
And nut for exactly. So it's just amazing. Yeah, they kind of scramble and eat whatever's easy. So to have food provided like that is a huge plus. It's nutrition in the aging adult is a very big important thing that we have to look at. And
so this is where your expertise comes in with food and nutrition and health and wellness and activity.
That's right.
Okay, so what about one of the big fears and the contention surrounding that people are more likely to fall when they leave their own home? Like, I don't believe in this. I think people have an opportunity to fall in their own home, if they're climbing stairs or whatever. But there has been some proof that once you change an environment for a senior, and this must be a big concern.
Well, there definitely has been some information out in the media, ascribing to that philosophy. And statistics are a funny thing, because it's true. There may be more data. There may be more reports of people having falls when they move into a retirement community. And they may say, oh, the reason for that is because it's an unfamiliar environment. But I think there's some other factors, and these are important factors that may weigh in on that. The first one is falls are not being recorded in the home. Right? So when you're in a retirement community, you have a 24-hour emergency response team there. And if you have a fall, we record that and we report that. That's part of our due diligence and our responsibility to our community members and their families. The other aspect of that is that they may be coming in too late. They may have had nuts and cottage cheese and fruit cocktail for lunch, and they may not have been exercising, and they may not have been taking care of themselves and having those social connections and all those things that our communities offer. And so they're coming in a bit of an unhealthy state. Yeah. So there's a greater propensity for accidents. It's not necessarily unfamiliar surroundings. It might be that it's just not caring for the body in a way it needs to be cared for.
These are really good points.
It is a good point. And one thing to add to that as well is you have to look at, who is coming in and where they're going. If it's because of a blanket statement. Certainly with people who have moderate to advanced dementia, whenever you move them anywhere into another situation, and I saw this with my father, is that they decline, they drop. So you do see much more falls. If you have an older person, someone with dementia that goes into a long-term care nursing home, a very institutionalized setting, I wouldn't be surprised that they're going to be falling more because I've seen it. Someone who's independent that's coming in and living in a retirement community, you have to separate. They may be the same age, but they're two different. It's apples and oranges that we're really comparing. So we have to be careful how that's communicated look at it carefully.
Statistics can be interpreted any way you choose to, and I think, Alison, you made that point, but
Yes.
you also brought up some very good points. But let's talk about the necessity of social interaction in a senior's life. If somebody's lost a spouse, they're maintaining, I'm not leaving my home. They're not getting any social activity. They're not feeding their brains. They're not friends with their neighbors.
No.
Right?
No.
And then they move into a retirement community, and all of a sudden, wow, they've got a social life. They're dating. They're going to exercise class. Or what are some of the proven benefits of that?
Oh, well, the benefits are how much time do you have?
Yeah.
I mean,
we could do a whole show.
Our whole industry is based on the benefits of connecting socially. And we know that isolation can lead to a lot of major deterioration in the quality of life for anybody, but particularly for seniors, because sometimes as they become isolated, they're not reaching out, they're not connecting as much, so they're sitting at home longer, they're watching TV,
depression,
and so their mood starts to go down. Yeah. We change our clocks and it gets dark and they're not connecting with anybody, and the TV becomes their friend, or the radio becomes their friend, or if you can't hear the TV, then you're with books, hopefully, or but your world becomes so narrow and so limited, and you forget. People forget who they are. They lose their relationship with themselves as their world diminishes. And when they come and they connect in one of our communities, you see a switch being flipped. It's the most amazing thing. And people who are particularly social, who have not had the ability to socialize, they blossom. And people who are not particularly social, people who are more to keep to themselves, still benefit from being surrounded by the vibrancy of the other people in the community. It still lifts them, they still brighten, and they know they're not alone. Independent is not, the concept of what we think independent is, it could be a misnomer. Just because you're living in your home does not necessarily mean you're independent. And often independence isn't the goal. Interdependence is what really, really creates a quality of life for people. Autonomy, and I know you're there if I need you, and I'm here if you need me, but I have my autonomous life, and it's interdependent.
These are all incredibly important factors supporting a move to an independent living community. We will continue this discussion. Hold that thought. You're listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. And joining us in the studio from the BC Seniors Living Association is board member Alison Howard, along with nutrition and active lifestyle expert Rob Hubay. Up next, how to start that discussion about moving and the benefits that will follow. You can get more information at any time online on the website, bcsla.ca. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.